INXJOY, what is a joy? I hope you're doing well. This is INXJOY, and today's pick a card reading is on what you'll be releasing. Yeah, I find that with the season going into the Pisces season, although this is a timeless reading, but with the season going into the Pisces season, I think this is a great time to reflect on things that we might not be aware of at this time. So anyways, here are the piles. Here's pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. If you'd like, you can pause here to choose a pile, but if you already know your pile, then I will meet you at the timestamp listed down below. See you there. Hi, pile 1. If you've chosen this phone, then this is your pile. So this will be the thematic card that we start off with, and then as time goes on, we'll grab in more cards to get more clarity in terms of the question what you're going to be releasing. So, cell phones. This is the card of cell phones. A phone represents your ability to communicate. So, in terms of what you'll be releasing, I know this is supposed to be about communication, but it feels like more like you're releasing the habit of being on your phone too much. Especially with social media, I feel like you're going to be cutting down quite a bit how much time you spend online and on your phone, and I find that you're going to be putting your phone down in favor of either being in the present moment a bit more, spending time in nature, reading books, spending time with your loved ones, gardening, things of that nature. It feels like with this pile, you'll be kind of exiting out of the notifications that you're getting. Either you're going to be disabling them, you're going to just kind of not like give it as much importance as you used to when you might have previously in the past or are currently doing, and you're just going to be stopping that kind of mentality of having to check your phone all the time, which we love for you. All right, we're gonna continue on to see what else you'll be releasing and if we can go deeper into that. Okay, so what are my pile ones releasing at this time? Divine Source, what are my pile ones releasing at this time? Aromatherapy. Okay. As well, make a vision board. So it feels like what you'll be releasing is the need to plan, the need to kind of escape, especially. It feels like with this aromatherapy card, it feels like there is a kind of like, because I'm being drawn to the citrus, and I'm thinking of when cats smell citrusy hands, they don't really like that. So it feels like you like in that sense, it's just going to be a natural thing for you to want to put down your phone, to check in all the time, to kind of plan out a lot of things. It feels like you're going to be more in the present moment, like the person in the card generally, but it just doesn't feel like you're going to need to think about having to do this. So it's going to come very, very naturally for you. So you're either going to be filling up your day more with going outside, I know in the West Hemisphere, we're going into the spring, summer season soon. So it feels like you're just naturally not going to be on your phone as much. And you're just going to be more accustomed to kind of being in the present moment and not having to have anxiety over the future, especially. So what are my pile number ones releasing at this time? What are my pile ones releasing at this time? Oh, okay. So apparently with this deck, we're not asking that question, we're asking the question of what ancestors are helping you at this time. What ancestral energies are helping you at this time? All right, what ancestral energies are helping you at this time? You have Mary Wollstonecraft. Advocating for women's education and an equal standing with men, Mary Wollstonecraft was an inspiration to early suffragists. Her landmark call for women's equality. Vindication of the rights of women with strictures on political and moral subjects was the only contemporary challenge to the exclusion of women from the rights of man proclaimed in the American and French revolutions. Wollstonecraft was born into a society whose structures shaped her. Self-educated, she found intellectual stimulation among the Newington Green Circle, where she gained the support of Joseph Johnson, who published her essays, reviews, and books. Yeah, okay, so it feels like you'll be, with what energies, what ancestries are supporting you at this time, it really does feel like you have the energy of a feminist and activist in your lineage who really fought for equal rights, as well as the preservation of education and the community involved with continuing on that legacy. So with the ancestry that's coming forth, it feels like this ancestor really wants to help you make sure that you connect with the individuals that are meant for you, and connect with the right people especially. It feels like with this ancestor coming to help, that they're taking the ease away from the anxiety you have over the future. And although you might be in difficult situations, they'll help guide you and be a presence for you during those harsh times so that you fulfill what you need to do in this lifetime. It feels like you're releasing this aspect of yourself, this habit of yourself of checking your phone a lot and checking in that space a lot. You're releasing that in order for you to gain more satisfaction with your life, to gain more of a inner knowledge, inner wisdom, and as well as a solid community. Something that makes you feel more whole, something that's a little bit more deep in regards to your connections. All right, we're getting no for any other ancestors, so we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna continue on with what you are releasing. What are my Palins releasing at this moment in time? Thank you. You have worked through your fears. New Moon in Scorpio. Yeah, with this photo here as well, it feels like you are gonna start going for a more, I don't want to say traditional, but like a more like, I'm hearing back in my day kind of deal. So it's like you're going for a more like natural style of living. Again, you're not going to be online as much, and you're not going to really care about being online as much. It feels like you're going to be kind of looking towards what you did in the past, especially to fill your time, and revisiting old memories, old habits, old ways of being, for you to get into who you are again and to work through these fears of new connections. Really, it might feel like a disconnection at first, and that's what might make you fear a bit. You might have FOMO a little bit when it comes to working through this letting go stage, and that's perfectly normal and perfectly okay. Like, there's going to be a time where you will miss out on things, but it's nothing that's really important to you anymore. So it feels like just like a natural decline for you to just kind of wash away anything that's like, again, not really serving you in regards to your consumption habits. It feels like what you're consuming with with your phone right now is, it's like entertaining, don't get me wrong. Everyone loves having your phone, and it's not like you're gonna cut this off completely. It just feels like you're gonna engage with it less, and that's it. And then you're gonna be like, all those times where you wanted to do your work instead of like scrolling on your phone, like that's gonna be the habit switch that's gonna happen for you. Yeah, and then you also have your dreams need a practical plan. The Moon in Taurus. So with those two cards, it does really feel like you will be letting go of the FOMO. You're going to be working through a lot of fears. You're going to go more into your inner depths or inner core. You're going to be really discovering a lot about yourself. You might be having really vivid dreams at this time, a lot of dreams that are just kind of involved with people from your past, things that you might have not had the chance to fully let go and grieve over, that they're going to be coming up through your dreams. So, and that's in order for you to kind of clear away any of the old karma that you've accumulated and kind of step into a space where you can feel more at peace being in the present moment. And that's because there's a big part of you that wants to have a practical plans to make your dreams come true, whatever that may be for you. It's going to be a wonderful time for you to create a legacy, for you to create a sense of relief and a structure for you to continue on. Right now it feels like a big, if you're part of this collective, then it feels like a big shift's happening where a lot of people are choosing to move forward, clearing the past of the last few years, if not decades, and moving forward so that you can plan out how the next few years, next few decades are gonna go for you. So yeah, there's just a restructuring of yourself and your brain towards being able to put your attention where it needs to be. And not having a closed eye on it. You're just going to be able to really have a good sense of what you need and what you're gonna stop doing, and what entertainment is right for you and what entertainment's not right for you, and when to engage in it as well. And that's gonna really help you out in regards to really understanding your star qualities, your present moments, your lineage, really. All right, last cards in regards to what are my pile ones. Thank you. You have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So it feels like you'll not, again, that's something like I said earlier, you're not gonna have to work so hard for this to happen to you. It's just kind of naturally going to happen. And it like over time, you're just gonna see that you're gonna gravitate less and less towards your phone. You're gonna like not really enjoy the same things that you once did. Like you might have really enjoyed some videos or YouTubers in the past, or like some entertainment, some like channels, some public figures. You might have been really like, they might have been your parasocial relationships that really have gotten you through it, but it's going to be a letting go of that. It's going to be letting go of the old structures that you had in terms of your daily habits, and you're going to recenter yourself. And you're not going to need to work that hard for it. So this video is just really a reminder for you that this is what's about to come. There's nothing to fear. You're going to get through it well. You have your spiritual ancestral team on your side. You have divine source on your side. And that you're going to be able to really go forth with what you wanted to do in the last few months in order for you to bloom and strive towards your goals correctly, and with the plans that are needed for your dreams to come true. You'll be able to tap into a higher sense of source, a higher sense of self as well, for you to really understand who you are, what you're here to do, and how you're going to move forward with that. And you're going to have very practical steps along those goals. I'm also hearing the Akashic records, so you're going to be also opening the Akashic records. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be making a video about that soon, but as for now, these are the messages I have for you, my Padawans. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helped and help you through the cycles of what you're going through, and I hope this brought you some clarity, some peace and understanding in terms of what's about to come, what you're releasing now in order for you to make room for the future, and so that you can live in the present. All right, I love you lots. Take care. Bye. Hi, my pal twos, how's it going? So today we're just gonna be focusing on what you're releasing right now, and this is the card that you got. We're going to take a look at this thematic card and then go on with more cards to get more details on what you're going to be releasing at this time. Interesting. So this card is, it's called Moving Forward. Walking in a dream, like any other form of travel, is a symbol of the discoveries you're making as you move forward in life. It's generally a positive dream because you're relying on your own resources to get where you need to be. The surroundings and any obstacles or diversions you encounter will give you a clue about your progress. Okay. What you're releasing during this time . It feels like you're releasing emotional baggage because I'm drawn to the sub right now, the scuba diver, the scuba diver and the subterranean aspects of being underwater. So it feels like you're releasing unresolved baggage, unresolved emotions. You're basically releasing the past in order for you to move forward. You're kind of clearing out the skies so that you can kind of see more clearly. And there is a notion, because I'm also drawn to the person hiking, is that you're going to be conquering your fears and you're going to be able to take any steps necessary in order for you to accomplish your goals. So there's a really big sense of moving forward with you. It's not that you're releasing the fact that you're moving forward, it's like you're releasing the past in order to move forward. That's how it feels. Okay. So what are my pile twos? Excuse me. Let's take some water. Reminder, if anyone hasn't told you today, that hydration is sexy. Drinking water is great. So what are my pile twos releasing at this time? What are my pile twos releasing at this time, Divine Source? Thank you. You have 3 cards that fell out. You have your hard work is paying off, New Moon in Capricorn. You and your loved ones are safe, New Moon in Cancer. As well as communication is key, New Moon in Gemini. So yeah, it feels like whatever you're doing right now, you're probably doing a lot of self-work. You're already doing the inner work. You're already kind of, like, if you're on this tarot reading, I'm gonna assume that you're someone who's already very equipped with the knowledge of self-discovery, self-reflection, and being able to resolve past issues, past karmas. You're probably already someone who already knows about the Akashic Records and is already delving deep into it. And that hard work, that spiritual work, that emotional work, that physical work, that intellectual work that you're doing, all that is going to pay off. It feels like you might have been sticking to a routine already. You might have, excuse me. It definitely feels like you've been clearing your throat chakra quite a bit, which is going to be great for you in the future. It's going to really help you really get to where your goals are. And you have to recognize and remember that some of the past karma that you're clearing doesn't mean that anything's lost. It's just with you and your loved ones are safe. It feels like what you're releasing is this fear of leaving people behind, abandoning others. So this is an interesting one, because most of the time we talk about, in general society, we talk about the fear of abandonment, but this feels more about like survivor's guilt, kind of a fear. And that's something that you're going to be releasing. So because of the hard work you're paid, like that's going on, you might feel like you're going to be a little bit more elevated than your loved ones who are around you, and that's probably going to happen, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be completely cut off out of your life. It just means that there's going to be a different sort of relationship that's there. It's not going to be the same, but it's definitely going to be protected. And again, with this communication is key card, it feels like what you're releasing right now is past ways you might have dealt with it. So you might have communicated in ways that were a little bit more, how do I say this nicely? You might have communicated in ways where it was a little bit more abrasive to other people, but now when you're moving forward, especially because of all the inner work you're doing, it feels like you're gonna have a very compassionate heart in regards to moving forward, in regards to letting people know your boundaries, letting people know what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, like just letting people know about your life, especially too. It might feel like you might not even have to do that at certain times. I feel like sometimes that this communication is key, is that sometimes like you might have had to feel like you over-explained yourself in a lot of scenarios, and you're letting go and you're releasing that aspect of needing to divulge and kind of again, just having the need to over-explain yourself in situations. It feels like you're going to take a pathway with the people in your life that is a bit more open for you to move forward, but it also might be in a way that's a little bit more, it might feel mysterious to them, but for you, it's just kind of like protecting your peace, protecting your energy, protecting your own goals in the future. So you're not gonna have to be like, oh yeah, I was meditating for like an hour, sorry. And I also had to do the dishes, and I had to like garden, and I also had to like take care of my cat. All you're gonna have to say to these people and the like that are your loved ones are, yeah, sorry, I was busy, and leave it at that. There's nothing more, nothing less. It's nothing that's good or bad. It's just, it is what it is, and it's their choice if they want to engage with what you're doing more. It's just that you're not gonna be putting in so much effort in order to maintain these relationships. They either get it or they don't, and you're just gonna be really focusing on yourself so that you can move forward. Okay, so in the last pile we did with these cards specifically, what ancestors are around you, or what energies are around you supporting you at this time. And we're gonna do it again because I feel like it'd be nice if I can get what ancestors are or energies are supporting my pile twos at this time. What ancestors and energies are supporting my pile twos at this time? What ancestors or energies are supporting my pile twos at this time? Okay. Alright. So you have Shen Shongyu Wu, a pioneer and physicist who made important contributions to the Manhattan Project. Shen Shongwu was born in China and earned a degree in physics at the prestigious National Central University. She continued her studies at the University of California, Berkeley under the guidance of Ernest Lawrence, and joined the Manhattan Project at Columbia University, focusing on large-scale uranium enrichment. She devised an experiment by which one of the basic laws of physics, so-called parity conservation, was overturned. The Wu Wu experiment helped win a Nobel Prize for the two men physicists who had requested the test, but Dr. Wu's extraordinary contributions were not acknowledged. She earned many other honors over the course of her career. She was the first woman to receive an honorary doctorate from Princeton University and had an asteroid named after her in 1990. So, what energies and ancestors are supporting you at this time? With this card, it feels like you definitely have quite a mind on you, and the ancestors and energies that are supporting you at this time are reminding you of your intelligence, your fierceness, your ability to create and uphold and elevate your surroundings. Especially, you might be someone who's planning to go back to school, to be honest. You might be someone who's continuing their education, who's pursuing other certificates, degrees, doctorates. It feels like what's supporting you is the continuation of your studies. And again, it might not even be in a bureaucratic organization. You might be pursuing your own independent studies. So yeah, that's the energy supporting you at this time. You also have Grace Murray Hopper. And she left her position as a mathematics professor to join the US Naval Reserve. She was assigned to work on the first electromechanical computer in the US, Mark I, for which she wrote the 561-page user manual. Damn. After World War II, she published their first papers on compilers for programming language, and she was instrumental in the creation and standardization of the common business-oriented language. Oh my god. So yeah, so again, this really does feel like you have a really strong mind, and because of that, like it is this ancestor and energy is really helping you move forward with the continuation and the pursuit of whatever studies you are in or are going to be or are planning to be on. Yeah. So you also have Sarah M. Grimke and Angela Grimke Weld. Alright, Sarah Grimke was repulsed by the treatment of enslaved people on her father's South Carolina plantation, and frustrated by the educational inequities of the time. Defying state law, she taught the enslaved girls who attended her how to read and write. After moving to Philadelphia and converting to Quakerism, Sarah and her young sister Angelina were among the first women to speak publicly against slavery. Their 1836 writings were burned in the South, and the sisters were threatened with arrest if they ever returned. They were criticized in the North for refusing to abide by social conventions and discouraged women from speaking publicly. Frustrated by the sexism and abolishment movement, the Grimke sisters began advocating for the rights of women. So it also feels like this is a really heavy energy on education. So the energy supporting you at this time, again, these are just very much saying education and the rights for whatever you are being educated in. It feels like you're either or a combination of being a feminist, being someone who is against ageism, against racism, against bigotry and homophobia, and or someone who's trying to advance humanity in a way that sees humans as humans, other than the strange constructs and ideals that are unfortunately placed on society right now. All right, so last but not least, you also have Alice Paul. Active in England's militant suffrage movement, Alice Paul returned to her home country in 1910, determined to shatter the US movement's lethargy. With Lucy Burns and a host of recruits, Paul organized a massive national suffrage parade, convinced that the constant protest was necessary to keep the press covering the case. She led the first picket first ever picketing at the White House in 1917. When the U.S. entered World War I, the protesters became more provocative. And one of the quotes they had was, "They tried to terrorize and suppress us," she said upon her release from prison. "They could not, so they freed us." Ooh, okay, so this definitely feels like my Free Palestine babies right now. Again, look at this image. This is an image of someone with a who has the cap and gown for graduation. So this, like, I'm gonna be surprised if you're not doing if you're not continuing your education in some form or fashion. But there's definitely a really good head on your shoulders with this group. There's a very intellectual and wise and intuitive feeling with this group that is in the pursuit of education. These are 4 different energies and ancestors who are advocating and urging you and helping you at this time to continue on pursuing whatever educational aspect or desire that you want to do, and reminding you that your hard work is paying off, and the way you go about communicating this to your loved ones and to other people out there is going to be very pivotal in changing the way they see things, you know? This definitely feels like my social justice warriors, and if you don't like to identify with that kind of title, this might be just my humans who love other humans, you know? You are smart enough to recognize what's going on in the world, and you have a critical mind so that you're not persuaded by others in terms of knowing what's right. And so you will continue to educate yourself and fight for what's right, and we are here for it. We're absolutely here for it. So what you're releasing is that baggage of the past that might have held you down when in regards to not speaking up and speaking your truth. It feels like you are going to be speaking your truth. And you're going to be doing it in a very sophisticated, very charming way. So other than doing it in an abrasive way that you might have in the past, you will be convincing others with the language of love, really. Alright. So what are my pile 2s releasing? Meditate. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna start aromatherapy for the last one. So we have meditate as well as aromatherapy. So it feels like oddly enough, feels like you're releasing this sense of stillness. It feels like you are releasing this kind of hold on you that's made you felt like you were stuck for quite a while. It feels like you're releasing this aspect of you that was like shunning away the outer world. It feels like you're kind of opening yourself up to the world a little bit more, to the more public spaces. It feels like in regards to what you're releasing, it feels like you're opening your eyes and using your voice in order to spread the truth, and you're going to enjoy it. You're not gonna back down. What I'm hearing in my head is never back down, never what? And so that's gonna be you. You're not gonna back down. So and while you do this work, just know that you and your loved ones are saved, that your hard work is paying off, and the communication is key, because you're gonna be doing this from a place of love. You're doing this in a place of understanding and compassion, and you're gonna be telling the truth to those who like it or not. And the thing is that it's going to be really hard to argue against you, because of the fact that when you speak the truth, you're coming from a place of such charisma, of sophistication, of such wisdom and intellect, that if the people that are arguing against you will look like fools, for even trying to argue against you for it, because there are going to be facts, there are going to be figures, there's going to be a lot of statistical evidence to back you up on whatever case you may be presenting to the world. Okay, last couple of cards in terms of what my pile twos are releasing. You have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, you're going to be releasing that kind of fight, as well as the Three of Pentacles. So as I said earlier, it definitely feels like people in your past will kind of fade away in a different way. It's not like they're going to be fading away completely, but you are releasing a lot of the old relationships that didn't serve you, as well as the ones that you had to kind of fight in, especially the ones that you had to kind of be more of a warrior, a bit more of a fighter, a bit more of you're gonna be releasing relationships that gave you a lot of stress, a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, especially because my cat started scratching heavily. So it felt like you're someone who's gonna release the really reactive communication, especially with your friends. It feels like you're gonna be able to respond and slow down and present your arguments, present your findings in a way that's very composed. Yeah, okay, amazing. So that's what I have for you in terms of what you're releasing right now. You have so many cards here that say to continue what you're doing, definitely continue your education and move forward, because your hard work is paying off. You got this, my friend. I believe in you. Source Divine believes in you. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye. Hi, my pile threes. If you've chosen this card with a castle on it, then this is your reading. So today we're talking about what you are releasing at this time, and you have castles, ancient buildings, and tombs. A castle, like a house, can be interpreted as the ego or your inner world. However, castles were built specifically to protect. So what you're releasing is a part of your ego, a part of yourself that no longer serves you, a part of yourself that might have clouded your judgment. It definitely feels like with this thematic card, because we usually get a thematic card at the beginning, what you're releasing is something that you have been imprisoned to when it comes to yourself and your soul. So we're gonna continue forward to see more details on what that thing is in terms of your ego, your soul, the imprisonment that you may be facing. So what are my pile threes releasing? What are my pile threes releasing? I believe this is the Chariot, but this is a new deck for me, so I'm gonna double check. It just definitely feels like the Chariot with these two hybrid human sphinx angel beings. All right, interesting. This is either the Devil or the Lovers, but I have to check, seeing the fact that this is a new deck for me. So it's very interesting that you're releasing two major arcana cards. Yeah, this is the Chariot and this is the Lovers. Okay. All right. In the Garden of Paradise, choice is presented. The consequences will decide how your path unfolds from this point. Follow your heart. Take charge of your own destiny and put your plans to action with full confidence. The time has come to make your move. So what you're releasing right now definitely feels kind of like this this performative act. It definitely feels like it. Looking at these two cards, it feels like these people are putting a performance on. These two people are obviously dancing, as well as this person feels like they are in a position of authority, but in a way that's a little bit more performative. Look at the stance and look at the body language that this knight is using. You know, it feels like there's a part of you that's kind of stepping away from the limelight, away from the, I'm being drawn to the suns here. So there is a big part of you that is looking towards your ego, reflecting upon your ego and how that's kind of imprisoned you from seeing the truth of it. That's kind of how it feels. You have the Ace of Cups. As well as the Five of Wands. So, in regards of what you're releasing, what has been imprisoning you, you might have felt like you've had to fight a bit when it comes to being heard, or being recognized, being noticed. You've kind of had to fight for being seen, especially. What I'm looking at are like those, like in my head, I'm seeing those TikToks of people who waste food heavily. So it may be that you're kind of shedding and releasing this need for attention, especially. Yeah, there you go. It feels like you're really releasing that need for attention, and you're stepping into a place where you're conditioning yourself to have more self-love and self-compassion, and you're really giving yourself space to open yourself up to this new beginning of being reflective of your emotions, especially. It feels like there's going to be a sense of inner peace and wisdom that comes to you at this time, now that you're releasing that need for attention, and you're gonna give this, there's gonna be a really huge protective stance when it comes to your angels protecting you, but you also might have this protective stance of like butting heads with yourself in regards for that. So you might have a hard time putting the phone down sometimes. Maybe you have a hard time not taking selfies. There's like a need for you to, that's clashing. There's a clash right now. There's the choice that you have to make, and the choice that really wants to be put forward is the choice of acting from the heart and not from the ego. And I'm not trying to bash the ego. The ego is so important for protecting us and keeping us safe and helping us form a sense of identity. Don't get me wrong, it's super important to have a healthy, developed ego, but it feels like there's a line that you're on right now, and this line can be either towards vanity or towards self-compassion, and there's this really big move for you to release the old of that vanity, of that attention grabbingness, into a form of self-compassion, of realizing how valued you are, how seen you are from yourself, and how lovely and rare and noticeable you are on your own without all that glitz and glamour kind of deal. You know, it feels like you might not need to heavily use filters or put on intense makeup or wear extravagant clothing or feel the need to like have brand names to kind of how do I say this, to kind of validate your identity. There's gonna be like a cutting away of that. You're gonna cut away from all the things that are kind of like taking up space in your ego, so you can allow yourself to have this healthy ego. And you're gonna see how the influences that you might have been seeing online or in real life or with the people like you surround yourself with you're gonna see how that's not really you, and that's just a mask that you're putting on. So what you're releasing right now is this mask of needing attention for the wrong reasons, you know? There's gonna be an act of self-compassion that really gets you to understand that you're loved, you're worthy, you're seen. And if you're already like doing tarot readings, there is a self-reflection about you that knows this. And I honestly congratulate you if you're still watching this and if you're still listening to this. This is not an easy thing to really like take in. You know, this also makes me self-reflect quite heavily because of my need to use filters online. But yeah, there's gonna be a need for you to kind of have that self-compassion and recognize that you are beautiful, you are amazing, you are just so glorious on your own that you're not gonna need those masks. And yeah, and it's gonna be hard because there's gonna be a fighting sense of needing to protect yourself. That's what castles do. You know, that's what the ego does. The ego protects herself from any self-harm that the physical world might bring to us. The social world especially. I find that we put on masks so that we aren't bullied, so that we don't stand out too much, so that we kind of are seen in the way where it fits the status quo and the norm. But there's a part of you that kind of wants to break out of that and just be yourself and have that self-compassion for you to kind of be free, especially in the sense of being aligned with the divine. There's a freedom that your soul craves in order for you to release anything that's just not you. And you're gonna be at this point in your life where you're kind of facing the demons of self-worth and what it means to love yourself. And I know that's like such a cliche thing to say in a tarot reading. Oh, so you just have to love yourself and like everything will be okay. No, like like obviously self-love is super important, and it doesn't mean like everything's gonna be okay. It just definitely means like you're not gonna feel the need to perform in a way where you're not you, you know? Like, there's just gonna be a sense of authenticity that you step into that gives yourself that love and compassion where you can kind of feel whole again. That's how it really feels. It's just this need to really feel like yourself again without any of the judgments of other people, especially. Without that kind of, I know we live in a society. We live in a society, and there are rules, and there are norms, and there are social structures in place. But like honestly, I'm getting the High School Musical scene where they're talking about like the song "Stick to the Status Quo." If you've ever seen High School Musical. But basically what happens in that scene is that like Gabriella, she walks into this like cafeteria that's just singing all about how you have to stick to the status quo, and like that's all you have to be. If you're a basketball player, then you're a basketball player. If you're a skater, then you're a skater. If you're a drama nerd, then you're a drama nerd. And like I should have said theater kid, apologies, I know I didn't mean it that way. But like that's how they also looked at it in High School Musical, is like there's so much judgment placed on what you do and the activities you enjoy. And there's just like this really big need to stick to the status quo that everyone's trying to like pressure Gabriella and Troy to kind of like fit in. But because they're so different, because you know Gabriella's an academic and Troy's a athlete, like it's like they can't be involved with theater. Like what? Like that's so absurd, you know? Like you can have multiple things that you like. You do not have to stick to the status quo. And I think that's something that you're releasing. You're releasing this need to stick to the status quo, and you're kind of going into a space where you are you more, and you really don't care who sees. You really don't care about the judgments, because at the end of the day, that means your soul is free. I'm also hearing, I may be cringe, but I am free. And you know, like, it definitely feels like you're releasing that judgment that people put on you, and that has kind of made you feel imprisoned. So like, it feels like you don't have to gain attention through sticking to the status quo anymore. You're going to be someone who's just kind of being yourself, and you're going to feel so much better about it. Yeah, okay. We're gonna get some self-care cards for you. So for my pile of 3s, what are some self-care things that they can do? Wow, okay. You have connect with your ancestors, as well as hydrate. So usually we're asking the question of what you're releasing, but because this pile's a bit more special, I wanted to ask some self-care, some nice self-care things that you can do at this time. And because we have the connect with your ancestors one, it definitely feels like you're going to be connecting back into nature, back into your loved ones, into your family especially, to kind of bring you that sense of who you are again. I'm also going to do this deck and see what ancestors are present at this time helping you on this journey. What ancestors are present at this time helping you on this journey. What ancestors are present at this time helping you on this journey for my pile number 3s, Source Divine. Ancestors of my pile 3s, please come forward. Please come forward in terms, thank you. Okay. So you have Mary Edwards Walker, as well as Lucy Stone. So, raised by progressive parents, Mary Edwards Walker lived by her own values through a lifetime of objections from people who could not understand her sensibilities. Encouraged by her parents to avoid tight corsets because they saw them as restrictive and unhealthy, she often wore pants while working on her family's farm. Yeah, okay, so like, that's just such a confirmation of what we've been saying in terms of how you're going to be moving past the status quo. Like, you have ancestors on your side right now who are really urging you to get back into your roots and back into yourself, because they really love you for who you are. Oof. And I got really emotional saying that, so yeah, that might be something that's really hitting you, but there's definitely a channel of energy from your ancestors being like, you are amazing and wonderful as you are. We want to see you be who you are. We want to love you for who you are, and we want you to be known for who you are, because who you are is a valuable and rare person, and you're not supposed to stick to the status quo. You're supposed to break the ceiling, you're supposed to break the norm, and you're supposed to lead the way for other people. That is the power you hold and bring to this world, and there's a need for you to step into that leadership. So you also have Lucy Stone. She was a principal leader of the American Women's Suffragist Association, a group of pragmatic suffragists who sought to counterbalance the more radical National Women's Suffrage Association. Her reluctance to marry due to the oppressive control that marriage laws gave the husband over the wife. Yeah, okay, so again, you are supposed to lead. Just as I was saying that, you do have ancestors who are urging you to be a leader at this time, to really be someone who has a good head on their shoulders and connects back to themselves, so that they can kind of be a role model for others. You might be someone who has younger siblings. You might be someone who has just a community or a following that's looking up to you right now. And what they need to see is not you following the status quo and the current trend or whatever's like trending on TikTok, or like, that's not what they want to see. They want to see you be yourself. They want to see you connect back to who you are, the roots of who you are, and be this loving and kind and just revolutionary leader that you are meant to be and step into. Wow. And that was a very powerful message. You also might want to drink a lot of water while you're doing it. Just a reminder that hydration is sexy. All right, last two cards for my pile of 3s in terms of what they're releasing. Last 2 cards. Thank you. So you have it's time to take action, new moon in Aries. Of course you do. It's too many. If I can just have one more card, I would really appreciate it. If I can just have one more card from my pile of 3s for the last messages of what they're releasing. Last shuffle, and for my pile of 3s, last shuffle for my pile of 3s in terms of what they are. Okay, no, that's it. That's the card that wants to come out, and that's the only one that wants to come out. So with all that said, it's time for you to take action, and it's time for you to step into this leader that you know you need to be. Again, stop following trends, stop doing things that no longer serve you, because you're meant to set the trends. You're not meant to follow them. You're meant to set them. You are the blueprint, my dear. You are someone who's meant to lead, and you're meant to lead with your heart above everything else. So continue on your journey. I'm wishing you the best in your endeavors and your successes. And I'm so glad that you get to peel this mask away and be who you truly are for the people that need to see you for who you are. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, just I don't know, do whatever you want. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye. Hi, Pile 4s. If you've chosen this picture of someone driving in their car, then this is your reading. So today we're going to ask the question of what am I releasing, and there are a couple of sub questions that we may be asking depending on your pile. So we'll first go into the theme of your reading and then continue on with the details. And you have car out of control or speeding. Car represents your path in life or the direction you're currently taking. An out of control or speeding car suggests you might be veering off track or moving faster than you should. You may be heading for danger in some area of life. For example, rushing with not enough thought into a new relationship, or leaving an established one, or plunging too hastily into a big life change, such as a new job or a relocation. Although the warning could be about something less serious, like a vacation plan. All right, so with this pile, in terms of what you're releasing, is you're releasing that sense of being out of control. You're releasing the sense to move faster than you should. You're releasing the sense of kind of, it feels like having to work overtime, or work, like you might have a side hustle, you might be working like a lot, like I mean a lot. Let me just move this here, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so you might be someone who is kind of releasing this feeling of being out of control and releasing the stress, because I felt a lot of stress on my shoulders when I said that. So it feels like you're gaining control back while doing that. But let's go a little deeper into what my pile 4s are releasing. Fast. Yeah, you have the King of Pentacles. What are my pile 4s releasing at this time? What are my pile 4s releasing? Thank you. You also have the 11 of Pentacles, which is not the Knight, but the Knave. Yeah, the Knave of Pentacles. So what? Oh, okay, that's fast. All right. You also have the Ace of Pentacles and then the 3 of Cups. Okay. So, what you're releasing are things that you can't really control. You're releasing the need to control. You're releasing this need to, like, with all these pentacles here, it feels like there's something in the physical especially that has gotten your attention, but it feels like there's an ending, and you're trying to control how the ending will happen or not happen. Especially with this 3 of Cups, it feels like this might be in regards to a friendship, especially one that might have been close to you as well. So it feels like you're releasing the control of being someone who, like, puts in a lot of work, a lot of effort into those around you. And so I think you're releasing the fear of not being in control. Yeah, it took a second for me to get that, but like, it definitely feels like there's this sense of you wanting to always be able to have this control over your life, and needing to have especially control over other people, like your friendships. So it feels like you're kind of getting away from that idea. You're kind of moving away from the idea of using physical things or material things such as gifts or money to persuade other people to be in your life. And it kind of feels like you're coming into a place of contentment, to where you can emotionally secure yourself. With this card, I know it's with 3 people, and the 3 of Cups usually signifies healthy, happy friendships. But what I heard in my head is actually me, myself, and I. So it feels like you're coming to this sense of serenity when it comes to being your own best friend and letting go of the relationships, again, that no longer serve you. And that's not an easy thing to hear or an easy pill to swallow. For example, I am in the same boat as you right now, so I can completely understand how hard it is to let go of friendships. it hurts. It hurts a lot, and I'm here right alongside you. That is actually why I'm doing the reading right now, is because that I'm very upset and very sad right now, and I'm letting go of a friendship, and so I wanted to kind of confirm it. And so yeah, this might be my pile. Anyways, what's happening right now is that you're needing to release that control of holding on and being there for your friends. Sometimes it's okay to step back. You might have already been getting messages from other readings, from other signs or synchronicities, that whatever relationship that this is kind of fading. This might have been a friend where it was more of a like a friend to party with, a friend to go out with, a friend to be in the physical world, especially for your sense of safety as well. It feels like there's a ending to that. With the lilies here, usually lilies signify a death of some sort. So it feels like what's happening is that there is a release of having to control this ending. And so what's really happening is that you're accepting what's going on in your life, and you're accepting the fact that you're going to be moving in a sense of being a lot more in tune with yourself and spending more time with yourself. It feels like you're coming to a stage in your life where these friendships no longer have space, whether that be because of time or distance or whatever it may be. It just feels like you're kind of releasing this need to be in spaces where you don't feel the same. You don't feel welcome, you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel like the friendship really matters that much. So, or the relationship, but it really feels more like a friendship. I'm just gonna get a little clarity. So it feels like you are releasing this kind of stage in your life where you were a bit more youthful, a little bit more irresponsible, a little bit more like carefree, and at the same time it feels like you had a lot of control over your social life and the people you hang out with and how it would go about. And so it feels like you're kind of letting go of that side of you that was a bit more naive and but it's kind of interesting because it's not just the fact that you were naive, but it was like the fact that you were authoritarianly naive. Does that make any sense? But like with these two cards, these are two very opposing cards, to have the King and the Knave in this reading. It feels like there's this strange imbalance that you may have faced when it came to your life, especially with the opportunities that were presented to you, the people that were presented to you, where you felt like you had to be one or the other, or like a weird mixture of both, where you either had to be very naive and like really people pleasing and really like kind of like just not yourself, or you had to be like overly responsible or overly giving, or like doing a lot, or like, yeah, it felt like you either had to play, it was like playing this weird like anxious avoidant game with your friends, and it's something that you didn't like and something that you didn't appreciate. So that's what's really releasing out of your life, is that like out of control energy that you've had, especially with your friendships. Okay, what are my pile? Actually, I'm gonna leave this for a different question, because what are my pile fours releasing at this time? What are my pile fours releasing at this time? What are my pile fours releasing? Yeah, be bold and make the first move. Yeah, it really does feel like you're kind of releasing that need to be the initiator in the relationship, especially. What are my pile fours releasing at this time? What are my pile fours releasing at this time? So it feels kind of like also that you might have been the one who was like sending out like, hey, how's it going? Or like you would be the one who's sending out memes, and it might have felt like you were being a bit like annoying to your friends. So you're kind of releasing that aspect of having to like initiate and put yourself out there and do the work more, you know, like you're just kind of like fed up with it, and you're just gonna be like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna be focusing on me, myself, and I now. So what are my pile fours releasing at this time? What are my pile fours releasing at this time? What are my pile fours releasing at this time? Source divine, please. Ancestors of pile fours, either one who wants to come through and come channel through me into the cards of what my pile fours are releasing at this time. Thank you. You have a win-win outcome is forecast. Your hard work is paying off, and work through your fears. So with these 4 cards, in terms of what you're releasing, again, this Libran energy, it feels like you are releasing that relationship. You're releasing the need to have to work so damn hard to keep the relationship afloat, and you're releasing the fear of being alone, really, of the out of controlness of being alone. There's this huge shift in who you are into being someone who recognizes that, you know, seasons come, seasons go. Some friends are gonna be here to stay, some aren't, and that's okay. And yeah, that's really how it feels. So ancestors of my pile of fours, what energies? Thank you. Yeah, Mary Wollstonecraft, who was an early suffragist, and she called for women's equality. So that's something that is helping you at this time to recognize your worth, your stance, and how you deserve equal rights within this relationship. You also have Florence Nightingale, defying society's expectations for women of her class and era. She rejected marriage and stepped away from privilege to improve the lives of others. Credited as the founder of modern nursing, she transformed the organization and management to hospitals to improve hygiene, food supplies, and care. So yeah, it just feels like you're releasing this relationship in order for you to improve your life and what's about to come next. So it's the thing is, the ancestors are here to remind you that sometimes you have to let go of the old in order to make room for the new. You also have Barbara McClintock. She launched her career in maize cytogenetics while a student at Cornell University. Her degrees were in botany because women were not allowed to major in genetics. She investigated changes that occurred when genes moved from place to place on her chromosomes. Her discoveries were so far ahead of her time that years passed before they were widely accepted. She won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1983. So yeah, it just feels like you're kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to who you are and your ideas, and the friends that you have around you now are just kind of not up there, not up to your standard. There's just like this level of feeling like you're not accepted around them because of the fact that you're ahead of them. And you also have Rosa Parks. Her refusal to give up her seat to a white man on the bus and her subsequent arrest spurred a mass boycott of city buses. Parks was a longtime mover in the Montgomery NAACP and a well-trained, disciplined activist attuned to, in every respect, to what she was setting into motion. She remained a powerful figure of hope and inspiration to millions, even after her death. So it feels like you're just kind of moving forward in this place of recognition, in this place of being someone who will be beloved by a lot of people. So it feels like you need to kind of step away from these relationships that you've had, like these friendships that you've had in the past, because what's happening for you in the future is something bigger than that. And it feels like if you keep these people around, then they're only gonna slow you down. They're only gonna be jealous of you in the worst ways, and in the ways in which they will put you down, in the ways in which they won't understand you, make fun of you, like kind of bully you, and like yeah, if you've ever seen the movie Mean Girls, then you like it's kind of like a backhand compliment, you know? Like they'll try to make it sound really nice, but they're really just kind of like putting you down in a way. And so like that's why these relationships are releasing. It's for your highest good, so that you can move and step into a place of inspiration for so many more people, so you can meet so many more people who are up to your level. Okay, last card in regards to my pile fours, and this is just going to be a card of self-care. So what self-care should my pile fours be engaging in right now as they were releasing? What self-care should my pile fours be engaging right now? Thank you so much. See how that card just flew? You have journal. So yeah, journaling your feelings, writing down what's going on, how it's happening to you, how you're feeling. It's going to be very helpful for you at this time in order for you to release anything that might be stuck, any patterns that might not be beneficial for you, any memories or any experiences that you've had in the past in regards to these people. It's just journaling for you right now. It's going to help you kind of clear your head of it. We're going to get 2 more cards because some people don't like journaling. And we love how those 2 cards just flew out. I hear my kitty cat sleeping, so getting a lot of rest will also help you. You also have abundance planning and ground yourself. So meditations will be helpful, grounding yourself by taking walks, grounding yourself by hanging out in the garden, spending time with yourself so that you can love yourself and get a better connection deeper to your heart space, to your crown chakra, to your to nature. It's going to be something that's so healing for you at this time. And last but not least, you have abundance planning. So just kind of moving forward in the ways in which that will help you in regards to what you want to see. It's a shift from your friends and your relationships to yourself and to your career and to what's next and to your legacy. That's what's happening for you right now. And those are the self-care aspects that are really wanting to be shown to you at this time. So that is all I have for you today, my pile fours. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I know it was a bit of a tough one. Again, speaking from experience as well, so I'm right here with you. Yeah, I hope everything goes well with you and what's going on with your life, and I hope that you can move forward with this releasing of the olds and step into the you that wants to come out and leave a legacy. You have all these energies supporting you, so I want to thank you for tuning in and for listening. I also want to thank Source Divine and your ancestors for coming through, not just for this reading, for every other reading that has happened. Thanks so much for being here, and I'm wishing you the best rest of your day. Take care. Bye.